Okay, we're going live. Okay. So I'm going to send out a note to make sure that all the viewers are in the right live stream feed. But otherwise, can everybody see?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Good morning, Jeremy.
Hi. Yeah.
No worries.
Are we not?
I'm gonna get the stream ready.
Okay. So where is all the information from? I know the schedule, but let me see. Let me get that all. There we go. Got it. So we have Sharon, and then Alex, and Rahul, and Malin, and Mick. Do we have a place where they have the speaker bios? I know some of them, but
Oh, awesome. Good to know that we're live.
oh, sorry.
No worries. Sorry, we're just sorting out a couple of minor issues on our side. We'll get started in just a second. Thank you for your patience.
Sorry about that.
I'm gonna give everyone just a moment to join the right stream, and we'll get started. one more minute here and we'll get started. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, all the speakers though. Yeah, all the speakers though.
Slides are good to go.
Yeah, all the speakers though.
Slides are ready, Chris, whenever you are.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hi, welcome everybody to the Cassandra World Party. I'm super excited to have you here and to check out all these talks. My name is Chris Bradford. I've been part of the Cassandra community since 2013. I went to a Cassandra summit in San Francisco, California, and it broke my brain how awesome it was. And ever since then, been running, trying to data model, all sorts of fun stuff. It's certainly been a long journey. I'm now here working on the Cassandra open source project, which is all about running Apache Cassandra on Kubernetes. And it's really fascinating to see the world of distributed systems and the types of applications that Cassandra powers. I'm here with Jeremy Hanna, who's going to introduce himself in a moment, but we're really excited to have everyone here for this global world party. Appreciate everyone working with us through the technical difficulties getting started here, but we are happy to have you here, and we're super interested in the talk lineup that we have. So the key goal here, though, is to get the community together. So please say hi to each other. I know we have chat running on the YouTube live stream. We also have the Apache Software Foundation Slack. There's a Cassandra World Party channel in there. If you could toss a wave in Slack, a thumbs up, just let everybody know that you're here and you're excited to talk and explore the world of Apache Cassandra. A key thing to note is we do want to abide by the ASF Code of Conduct. So just keep that in mind as we're interacting today. So myself and Jeremy will be moderating today's session. So let us know if you have any questions. We'll have eyes on both of those channels. We want to say a huge thanks to our event sponsors, though. They're enabling us to get together today. First up, we have Axon Ops. That's AXON-OPS. I highly recommend you check out their website. They have an awesome tool for managing Apache Cassandra clusters. Really, I was actually browsing through it yesterday, and it blew my mind. It looked gorgeous. I was like, wow, this is pretty powerful. So please go out there and give them a look. Also sponsored by DataStax, who has a enterprise distribution, Apache Cassandra DataStax Enterprise, as well as Astra, a managed Cassandra server and serverless offering. But with all that being said, Jeremy, off to you.
Yeah, so my name's Jeremy Hanna. I've been involved with the Cassandra community in different forms since about 2010. With the first version I kind of tinkered with is 0.6, and some of the early kind of growing pains of the project, and been kind of a roller coaster of goodness since then. Really happy to be on with Chris. I work at DataStax, but I've deployed clusters. I've helped with clusters all around the world. I lived in the UK for a while. So I know Hayato and Johnny from Axon Ops. They're excellent. The things that they're doing are pretty incredible, and happy to be here with Chris from the Cassandra, who leads the Cassandra efforts from a product perspective, and really happy to get everybody together. It's a nice thing to say during this COVID craziness. I just moved from Australia back to the US, and have to say that it's nice to get everybody on together to do some sort of, get ready for Cassandra 4.1 and just get everybody together and see how everybody's doing and hear some of the lightning talks that we have about the different topics that are coming up. So without getting in the way of those, why don't we just kind of push ahead there?
Sure. So we have a whole slew of talks today. So from getting to know Apache Cassandra with Sharon Foga, we have the data visualization with Apache Cassandra Grafana from Alex Volochnev. Really excited about that one. I've seen a demo of this and it should be pretty awesome. We're going to cover cleaning large-scale data in Cassandra with Rahul. Tightening security for Apache Cassandra with Malan, and finally, there's where's this journey taking us? What's next for Cassandra with Mick? Just a whole great lineup of talks. We're going to have some interactive quizzes at the end of the hour to test your knowledge, and we'll be inviting people on stage to share their Cassandra stories. We want to hear why you love Cassandra. And how you're using it and what you're excited about in 4.1, maybe when you think you're going to upgrade. So be sure you're signed into the ASF Slack and in the hashtag Cassandra channel, so we can give you a link to join us on stage. All talks are going to be recorded today and posted to YouTube after the show, and you can check your emails for a post-event link that's shared. So now for the lightning talks. We've got, like I said, 5 great talks today, sharing their experiences with Cassandra. So the fun twist is that we have someone else controlling their slides. It's going to be going every 30 to 60 seconds, whether they're ready or not. You can always sing and dance if you need to fill some of that space, but let's get started. So the first talk for today is getting to know Apache Cassandra, Sharon Foga. Welcome, and we look forward to your session here.
Thank you. Thank you. So my name's Sharon, and the title of my talk today is Getting to Know Apache Cassandra. So warning up front, if you are expecting a technical talk, we're not going to get a technical talk today. I'm sure there's lots and lots of really exciting technical talks happening today, but this is not one of them. So what is this talk about? This talk is actually about relationships. So what's a relationships got to do with Apache Cassandra? Well, if you think about what Cassandra is, so software, database, and you think about the community, the individuals are actually like cells in a living organism. So imagine if Apache Cassandra was alive. How would you describe the relationship that you have? What would be the answers to the most common questions you would give? So the first question people would ask is, where and when did you meet? So my answer is actually in 2 parts. The first time I ever heard the name Cassandra was at school, when we heard about the princess from ancient Troy who had this wonderful gift of being able to see the future, but had a curse at not being believed. So fast forward a few thousand years, not from my school days from ancient Troy, to Budapest and ApacheCon. It was my first ApacheCon, and imagine my surprise when I met an Australian with dreadlocks talking about Cassandra. Was he talking about the princess? No, he was talking about Apache Cassandra. And that was the first time I actually heard about it. And well, I thought, is the princess still around? When I saw the logo of Apache Cassandra, I thought, I think there's some bit of the princess still looking at us. So the next question people ask is, what do they do? So what does Apache Cassandra do? Well, it's a database, stores data, stores lots of data, stores lots of data in different places. It sounds a bit boring, but actually it's more exciting when you think about the way that the data is used. And perhaps the data could be used to tell the future, predictions, etc. So one of the things about Cassandra is the community is like the life force that supports and maintains the community, the Cassandra. So the community ensure that Cassandra eats well, sleeps well, stays healthy, and gets enough exercise. That's the role. Another question people ask is, what have you done together? What are you doing together? Well, even though I met Cassandra all those years ago, I didn't actually sort of get to know them. So now and normally when you meet people, you sort of like, you see them, you nod, you smile, and eventually say hi, start a conversation. And so that's what I've been doing. So Cassandra is very, very active. You can have a look on the mailing list. There's lots and lots of stuff going on. It's really exciting. And sometimes it's a bit apprehensive to sort of take the first step. But when you do take that first step, it's really, really exciting. And I did. And I was welcomed with open arms and pointed to a list of tasks that I could help with, which is really, really great. The final question that people usually ask is, so how's the relationship going? Is there any gossip? I would say, right, things grow over time. I'm taking a little bit slow. So, I think we're in a good place. We just need to sort of grow with that. So how would I describe my relationship with Cassandra? Would I say we're acquaintances? Probably not. Would I say we're colleagues? Sounds a little too formal. Would I say that we're friends? Yeah, I like that. I think I would. And what do friends do? They invite each other to parties. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. That's fantastic.
I hope I kept to time.
Oh, you're doing great.
Thank you. Okay, great.
It's great to have you on. So much. We don't. It's kind of like we're part of this experiment of. But thank you so much for being on.
No worries. Thank you.
Yeah. So it's certainly fantastic to be part of such a great community here with Cassandra, whether that's in person and virtual meetups like we have here today, and even some of the other conferences where Cassandra shines, given its sense of scale and the types of applications that it powers. With that in mind, we have our next speaker is lined up here, Alex Volochnev. I've had the pleasure to work with Alex for a number of years now, and we got to meet and shake hands in person at KubeCon EU this past May. So that was fantastic. But he's going to dive into data visualization with Apache Cassandra and Grafana. Welcome, Alex.
Hey, hi everyone. I hope my sound is all good. Looks like that. So I'm Alex Volochnev, developer, advocate, lead with data stacks, and open source developer by my heart. The point of this talk is having your data is not enough. Cassandra is great at handling petabytes of data very quickly, but this data is useless if we don't act on it. We need to understand this data, and human brain is not so good in handling petabytes of rows, bits and bytes. And we need to have something better. In order to react and understand, I will use Grafana. And Grafana is a totally great tool, but usually people think about it like something for administration, for metrics, for logs, for whatever happening with your system. And I do not mean metrics, I mean the data. It was the worst experience ever trying to explain to people what I don't mean Cassandra metrics, but I more mean Cassandra data stored in it, like your rows and partitions you create in it. People think of Grafana as the monitoring tool, and that is totally wrong. Grafana can do much more. I use Grafana for a really long time, and you can visualize nearly everything with it with different types of visualization, and you can have an alerting so you can get notified if anything happens. Again, I do not mean metrics, I mean data stored in the database, your IoT data. Then a few years ago, I needed to visualize some data from my Cassandra. I thought it will be easy. Like I have Cassandra, I have Grafana, what can go wrong? Well, everything. At the moment, there were no visualization, so people were asked to migrate their data to InfluxDB to show the data in Grafana. That sounds totally crazy, right? So my story is when open source developer doesn't have an integration, he writes an integration. And now we have data source for Apache Cassandra in Grafana. Single one-click installation. That takes just a moment to install it. And we support Grafana version 7, 8, 9, so all long-term support databases. Visual configuration is going to be as simple as that. You just need to give some IP addresses and ports. And don't forget, you better create read-only user, because any Grafana admin will have access to those credentials, which may be a bad idea. So configure a dedicated user for this kind of access. It's very important. Next slide is coming. Yeah. So a very important thing for us is developer experience. Developer experience is like a user experience, but for developers developing something. Make it be comfortable. We take it very seriously. Me and a group of open source developers from all around the world contribute to this project. Currently, we count like 3 or 4 active maintainers. And basically, with the auto suggestions, the configuration is simple as always, as simple as it should be. 2 ways to configure your things on how do you want to see your data. First one is a configurator. Configurator is very simple. Amount of use cases it supports is limited, but then it just click with auto-suggested fields. It's going to be a very simple experience. And much more interesting for me is the query editor. With query editor, you don't have auto-suggest and things like that. Maybe will be deliver it in the future, but now you have to type it on your own. But cool thing, you have full direct access to the SQL as it's allowed to your Cassandra user you created before, and you basically can get whatever data you want to get. And also using Grafana features, you can transform this data, build some aggregations, not only using Cassandra things, but user thing, but Grafana things, as well as Cassandra. And finally, alerting. Here you have an event triggered first in pending state, then in firing state. So you will be notified, whatever by phone, Slack, or whatever you prefer, if your data in your Cassandra changed. Alerting is one of the most important features for me. Next slide. Yeah, thank you. I'm not sure if it was 5 minutes, but I did my best.
No worries, Alex. That was awesome. It's really interesting to see how your plugin has grown over time. And
yeah.
Yeah, it kind of began as this is a need out there, and then it became this is part of their project, sort of, and then now it's like, this is real. This is real. So really nice to have you on as well, Alex.
At first, I wasn't sure what anyone except of me will use it, and now we have 60,000 downloads at Grafana, so it looks like people needed that.
Wow.
That's great. That's great. And welcome, Rahul. Rahul is an old pro at all of this. He was at the Cassandra World Party a year ago, April, when we were talking about the Cassandra 4.0 release. So welcome, sir, and great to have you on.
Hey, I'm gonna mute the. There we go. I was almost going to. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Hey guys, thanks for having us. Good to see you, Chris. I haven't seen your face in a while, and
Right.
good to see your real face, Jeremy, instead of the avatar that you have.
Yeah.
So, nice to be here. Yeah. So today I'm going to talk about cleaning data, and in the big data world, there's lots of different options. There's coldish, like file storage. There's warm data, like data warehouses, data lakehouses. Then we have hot data. And when I put hot star, it's like the stuff that's on the cloud, right? And the cool thing is they all use CQL, which is one of my main things that I love about Cassandra is that you can start using Cassandra, but there's so many different Cassandras out there, right? And that just means that your skill can be applied in different scenarios. Now, cleaning big data, how is it different than cleaning little data or medium data? And it's basically the same. I would say it's the same shit, different day. But the problem is that you can clean data in the data engineering, meaning as the data is coming in. But what if you don't do that when you get the data in, right? What happens after the fact? Well, you have petabytes of information to go through it in Cassandra, unless you've obviously put it in a partition key or whatever. It's going to take more effort. In SQL, relational databases, it's very simple. You figure out what you want to do by finding what you want to delete, and you delete it. And you don't necessarily have to just do deletions. You could do select blah 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 blah, insert into this other place, right? Or select as and do all these functions, and you can say insert into this other place, and it would just work. And when I got into big data, especially Cassandra, because it has CQL, which looks like SQL, I was expecting something like that, and there really isn't. But now with Spark SQL, you can kind of do that, right? So there are certain databases or data stores that are connected to Spark SQL where you can kind of do the same thing, right? And that's amazing if your database supports it. And the New York Spark connectors, you can do some cool stuff. But for the most part, you're not going to always get what you want with Spark SQL, because again, it's a subset. It's Hive, so it's a subset of SQL. But if you're lucky, you can do the same things. Now, the surefire way of cleaning data in big data, depending on which version of Cassandra you have, which version of Spark you have, is to just have a function that you make. And here's an example where it's deleting a category of information in a big database of documents, and you can even parameterize this further along. But the benefit is that you have much more control over your filter criteria. You have much more control over what you would like to do once you find your information. So in this case, we select using Spark and we delete using CQL, using a CQL deriver session. Deduping is a little bit harder. It's not as intuitive. I don't take credit for writing the middle code, which is do something with deduping. It's just something I found on Stack Overflow, and I got it to work, and I've been using it over and over, and it works. And this is the cool thing about Spark is once you get something to work, you can wrap it in a function, either in a Python function, Scala, or Java, and then you can share it with people, and that's great until you have to do things like migration of tons and tons of information, cleaning of tons and tons of information for hundreds of tables or hundreds of key spaces. And that's where Airflow comes in. Airflow in this case is showing this diagram is showing a directed acyclic graph of all the things that we want to do to delete or move a big application that has lots of information. And we can't just say take all these tables, shove them from one place to the other. What if we have other things that we'd like to do? What if we want to move a subset of that information? And what we did was we looked at this thing called Spark Migrator, Scilla Migrator. Somebody else has written that software, and we adapted it to clean data. So we took a part of the engine, ripped it apart, and said, we like the way it selects information, but we're going to also apply some deletion in here. And using the same directed acyclic graph that we made for migration of data, we started to use it to clean data. So we could say, this particular set of tables in this particular set of key spaces, let's move that information. Now, here are some considerations, right? If you're going to use Spark with Airflow, figure out, if you really want to manage it or run it. Like, for the most part, when you're moving or deleting data, you don't really need to run the Spark cluster forever, right? So like, see if Elastic MapReduce works, or see if Google Dataproc works for you, right? Or Databricks works for you. Same thing with Airflow. There are AWS's Airflow as a service. Google Composer is kind of like an Airflow as a service. So you don't have to necessarily manage these things. And other like key things about Spark is that if you compile it, it can't be modified, and that's really useful. So key takeaways, right? Don't reinvent the wheel, right? Use Apache Spark. Like, when you're dealing with Cassandra and you're dealing with moving or cleaning information, you can't really, go wrong with using Spark. All right, it's like not getting fired for hiring IBM. And then in terms of a scheduler, you have lots of different options. Now, Apache Airflow with Python is the lowest common denominator, but there are other things like Luigi, Prefect. You could even use Jenkins to schedule the jobs for cleaning and migrating data. But there's so many different options available with Airflow. You can't go wrong. Try it out. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Raul. It's good to see you. And fantastic talk there. I'm going to have to put Airflow on the top of my projects to take a look at. It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Raul. Great job. And data cleaning is definitely a kind of an overlooked art that kind of deserves a lot of attention in these circumstances, because that takes, when I was starting with this sort of thing, it's like that took a lot of the ramp up effort, is making sure that, like, wait a second, why is this in my data? Oh, and they kind of have to have that step back moment. So thanks so much, and good to see you,
guys.
sort of.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So we have our next talk up is tightening security for Apache Cassandra with Malin Vazavada. Malin, are you here? Oh, looks like we're getting reconnected to audio. No worries.
Malin, welcome.
Hello.
And I think from your background at PayPal and Venmo, I think that the security is something of a minor consideration, possibly.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's just a tiny bit of it, maybe 95%.
Well, fantastic. We're looking forward to your talk.
Sure. I just have a question. Can I request for a next slide? Or is it all auto rotation for good?
I believe it's auto.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I learned how to tell a joke or whatever. Okay, are we ready?
Go for it. We loud and clear.
Right. Hello, everybody. I'm going to talk about TLS configuration enhancements that we made with Apache Cassandra 4.1. However, before that, we'll talk briefly about software security and TLS. We'll cover a few basics of TLS at a higher level, and then we'll talk about what changes we made in 4.1 and then saying 4.0 Apache Cassandra. So according to a survey by eMarketer in 2021, the retail e-commerce sales are bound to grow like 3 times in next few years. This obviously puts a lot of pressure on the software service providers to be able to make sure they are able to offer better security to their customers and protect their privacy and the data. Apache Cassandra being one of the most popular NoSQL data stores today, is no exception from that. While there are many, aspects involved in securing a software like authentication, authorization, securing your data at rest, It is very important to secure your data while the data is in transit over the network. SSL TLS protocol play a huge role in enabling SSL client to be able to verify SSL servers using the server's digital certificates. Servers can request the same to the client, and that's mutual authentication between them. Because the digital certificates involve private key pairs and private and public key pairs, it is important that we are able to protect those private keys and the corresponding passwords. It's also important that we are able to distribute those credentials in a secure way and to be able to rotate them periodically to be able to offer better security. And all the more, when you are operating at a scale of like tens of thousands of servers, it is super important that we are able to operationally scale as well as offer the operations to be done in a secure way. Also, sometimes you have on-prem database, on-prem requirements, like you need to integrate with on-prem key management systems, hosting those credentials. Now, coming to Apache Cassandra specifically, with 4.0, you would be familiar with this kind of a configuration in your Cassandra YAML for configuring your TLS credentials. While it is easy enough, we thought of enhancing it even better with making few changes to better address some of the challenges we just talked about. With 4.1, we made the SSL configuration pluggable by allowing customization of SSL context creation in order to create the TLS communication. And the way it works is you can plug in your SSL context creation if you need any customization, and we defaulted the implementation in order to make sure that all the changes are 100% backward compatible. So your 4.0 Cassandra YAML will seamlessly be able to migrate to 4.1 in this regard. And we also gave example already in the GitHub repo for the Kubernetes secrets based SSL context building. And not only that, on top of all of this, we extended the pluggability to even add support for widely popular standard for key storage like PEM. So if you have got PM keys, you can refer to the Apache Cassandra security documentation and see how to just plug in your keys using the out-of-the-box implementation. Again, there is a reference example in the GitHub for the same. So as a concluding thought, our community is always committed to keep Apache Cassandra secure, and we continuously work towards making sure that we support variety of security requirements. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm super excited about pluggable TLS in 4.1 and a huge Kubernetes nerd. So to see that as being one of the extensions, I'm like, yes, awesome.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much for telling everybody about that in this format there, Malin, and for the time that you've taken today.
Sure. Thank you.
Great to have you in the community, and everybody who's presented. It's great to have everybody in the community, no matter where you're from.
Yeah.
You get some kudos here in the video chat too there, Malin. So again, thank you.
Yeah. The Cassandra community has really been invigorated. I am so excited about Sharon. I hope that we didn't we're adapting here, but we're excited to have everybody here. And Mick is kind of rounding up this lineup, and we're so happy to have him with even without the dreadlocks. I mean, I think everybody's mentioned the dreadlocks a time or two, and but so
just
happy
keep mentioning them, please. I can pretend I've still got them. I love it. So yeah, if you want to just say a couple words about yourself, Mick, but we're happy to have him as a project chair and of the project now, and doing all the things that he does behind the scenes. So really appreciate the work that you do. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Chris. And now I have to spend my 5 minutes explaining that the chair is just an admin role and it's just like a secretary position between the interfacing the PMC to the Software Foundation Board. No, I've been working with Cassandra since 2011. So going back to version 0.7, so a little bit after you, Jeremy. So yeah, I've been around for a while. Thank you for Sharon, Alex, Rahul, Merlin for fantastic talks. So where are we going with Cassandra? The past year, the Cassandra community has really picked up a lot of momentum. And I wanted to touch on that, both from a community point of view and also from features point of view and some of my favorite features. The last year, we've added lots of committers. To run through the list of names, Stefan, Caleb, John, Adam, Alexei, Sumant, Eric, Lorena, Anthony, Alex, Jacek, and Dinesh from the PMC. Also, we've had a huge increase in contributors. We've had contributors coming back, multiple patches, and we've had lots of one-time contributions as well. Some of the key names here are Diogenes, Chris, everybody on the website, marketing, events, and community, and you know who you are. You're so important for us to keep this community running. Brad, Francisco, Morlan, Yash, Savni, Saf, Dylan, Bernardo. If I pronounce your names wrong, I owe you a beer next time we meet. And special thanks goes to the companies which are providing hardware for our CI systems. Our work towards QA and more stable than ever releases could not happen, could not succeed without your support and generosity. So thank you very much on that. On the topic of test trends, I'd like to point out that we have now over 50,000 tests or close to 50,000 tests. Just in the last year alone, we have added 7,000 tests. That is just to our public open source CI systems. It's amazing. Our test trends, our pass rate is also getting better and better. There's been a huge slog there. It's not very motivating work for the engineers, but they keep on slogging away at it. Thank you very much for everyone who's involved. Some of my favorite features coming out. In 4.1, we're going to see configuration standardization. It sounds simple and mundane, but that would be totally the wrong generalization to make. A lot of work has gone into cleaning up, standardizing all the config options in the Cassandra YAML. The names now follow a more intuitive, standard language structure, making the whole set a bit easier to grasp and to remember. We have introduced unit types into the values, also making it easier. It is backward compatible, but we are looking for contributors who want to provide like a mangler or something to upgrade old configs into new configs. In 4.2, we're going to see storage attached indexes. This is something similar to SASE, but a new implementation, especially superior when it comes to scaling multiple indexes on the one table. It has been designed to eventually replace the legacy secondary indexes that we have and SASE. Also in 4.2, we have try mem tables. A lot of work recently has gone into mem tables. Thank you, Benjamin and Benedict, for that. Mem tables now work much better under contention and with collections. That work has been released in 4.05. But with 4.2, we're going to get a brand new implementations called this try mem tables. This will take mem tables even further. They'll be more compact and they'll be more op-ed friendly. Faster reads and writes. It's been benchmarked that the write throughput is almost at double. Last but not least, the Accord consensus general purpose transactions. This is super exciting. I think this is groundbreaking for the database industry at large. I really want to thank Benedict and Blake for the work that you're doing here. This is overcoming past issues with consensus models like cross-region and under contentions performance, providing strict serializable isolation, and under normal conditions, we'll be able to achieve it under a one round trip. This is pretty amazing. My last two slides here are on the ecosystem. These are two projects coming out of DataStax. They are both open source. The first one is from a dev's perspective, Stargate. Stargate acts like a coordinator wrapper around Cassandra, and it gives you lots of different APIs to work with. It means you don't need to have client-side drivers, especially important in a microservices stack. Go check it out, please. Next up is Cassandra project. From looking at it from an operator's point of view, this makes your life a lot easier if you're running on Kubernetes. This is a Kubernetes operator that we have in the community. It comes bundled with Reaper, with MCAC, Prometheus, Grafana dashboards, and with Stargate. I know both of these projects are looking for more contributors. So if you're an individual contributor or a company, I want to get involved, reach out to Chris. He's right here. I'm sure he agrees with me. That's a wrap for me. Thank you very much. If you've got any questions, you can always reach out to me or anyone in the community. We'd be more than happy to answer your questions. And if you're thinking about contributing something, please do so. The most important contributors we have in the community are the first-time contributors. So just do it. Thanks.
Thanks, Mick. And thanks. I loved the call outs to individuals. The community really is made up of, it's a big thing, but it's actually a small thing with all of the individual contributions that come into play.
Yeah. You don't need to be a dedicated engineer on open source if you've just got a small scratch to itch, or you see a typo in the website or the docs, or it's a config setting that's the jump in and offer a patch. That's how we move forward. The more the merrier. Thank you.
Fantastic. Appreciate the project shout outs too for Stargate. And I mean, I'm a little biased. I'm a big fan of Cassandra. So
they are awesome. They are awesome. Cheers. Good luck.
All right. Well, hey, presenters, congratulations. You did it. It looked like nobody had to resort to the song and dance to fill the slides. If anything, we bumped you a little early. Not that that's a bad thing. I like to stay on track with slides. But we're getting into the quiz portion of the world party here. Thank you for firing that up. If you head over to the menti.com link, which should be showing up in the chat channels right now, we can get started here. Yeah. And I'm putting it into the YouTube chat right now. Okay, so it's an interactive quiz. Everybody who hits the URL that's in YouTube chat and in the Slack chats, you'll be able to answer the questions live, get your name up there on the leaderboard, flex some of that Cassandra cred. I love the hamburger avatar. I don't think we get to pick them, but it's fantastic. And each session is going to have its own leaderboard and link. So just one more minute to get everybody to join in. Oh, awesome. We have a dog now. There we go.
Did you not see the link that I posted in the, I put a link in YouTube, but
oh, it looks like it might be getting filtered out. That's fun.
Oh, interesting. So
the
code, so if you go to menti.com/, this is the code. So you go to menti.com/xggfq. So the thing that I just pasted in the chat, did that show up? Is that a little bit more helpful? So
no, I'm not seeing it. So it looks like we need to get one of our moderators here, our admins for the stream. There you go. Or Melissa, if you could press I, apparently that will show the link.
Chris and I may be robots or malicious, so we need to be moderated ourselves.
It is what it is. They know us well.
I've been known to be a bot at times.
Yep.
Let's see.
Second, we're getting the link out. Do.
Base 64 encoded. XGGF.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, thank you.
There we
Whitney.
go. Whitney's got it.
You can put the whole link in there, Whitney. It's we're just not allowed to do it. Sorry, we're putting the URL in there, Alex. All right, we've got a whole bunch of people popping in now. 1 second. Almost there. Yep, we're getting the full URL put out there. Paul, thanks for your patience.
I have to say, as we're getting this worked out, that one of my favorite features that predates Accord is the improved Paxos in 4.1. So people can start using that right away. It reduces the number of round trips for lightweight transactions from 4 to 2, and for writes, and from 2 to, and goes even down to 1 for reads under certain circumstances. So I'm really excited about that. I mean, that's a precursor to what can be unlocked with Accord, but at the same time, it'll be there in 4.1. So really excited about that.
Oh, thanks for the tip there, Katarina. All right, we're going to get the link back up here in 1 second. All right, Melissa, let's get the screen back up and make it happen. I love all these little avatars here. So what is the most current release for Apache Cassandra? 4.0.5. Congratulations. Gotta keep your eye on the Minty screen. It'll sneak up on you.
Here goes question 2. When was Apache Cassandra 4.0 GA announced? Exactly 1 year ago today, depending on your time zone, I suppose. I guess it's not quite gone over to the 21st, or wait, no, wait. Oh, I'm totally wrong.
They got me too, for what it's worth. How frequently does the Cassandra project issue minor or major releases?
And that's today. It's changed a lot over the years, but yeah.
Okay, yearly.
So, and it depends on what you mean by major and minor releases, I suppose, as well, because we do like the fixed releases and things like that whenever it is needed, but the releases that we talk about are the annual releases.
Why was Cassandra initially developed by Facebook?
Inbox search. The early times were definitely interesting in terms of as it was shepherded through Google Code and finally to the Apache Software Foundation. I'm really glad that it is where it is.
What year was the Apache Software Foundation founded?
Wow. Some of our veterans from the ASF on there can give us that. Yeah.
Find myself clicking the Menti screen, going like, all right, come on, next question, next question. It's like a slideshow. What is the Cassandra community's fuzz testing tool called?
So great to have all of these different testing tools that a lot of different companies and individuals have worked on, like Harry, to, bugs can show up from a lot of places. And so you kind of have to have a variety of techniques to do that. And that really shows through with the stability of the project. And
all right, in which programming language is Apache Cassandra written? I thought I didn't see it for a second there. I was a little concerned.
like, wait a second, it's totally Rust. No, wait. Excited to get the Java 17 support in there. What is
a Cassandra enhancement proposal? Good job.
Lots of really good enhancement proposals that are being added. How many talks are in the Cassandra track? Good question. And so many great submissions to ApacheCon. It's so exciting to see.
Wow. Oh, which of these actual talks can you watch at ApacheCon in October? Oh.
The safety and the all of the above.
Last question, here we go. Are you ready to use or contribute to Apache Cassandra? Oh, I've figured this one out now.
Yeah.
Everybody, I love it. Good job, Aaron. Well done. Alex, you crushed it as well, Paolo. But it looks like
Hello, great to see you on there, man. I miss you from working with you. Hope you're doing well at, I think it's Bloomberg now. And
fantastic. So we've had a great day of sessions today. Thank you so much to the speakers. Thank you so much to everybody on the live stream and Slack and YouTube chat, even a little bit of Discord out there. So thank you to everyone. You are what makes this community so vibrant and interactive. And whether you're a contributor, an end user, someone who's angrily typing at their keyboard in CQL for the first time, just welcome, and we're looking to work with you some more. We're always looking for new user content. Check out cassandra.apache.org. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on Slack.
Yep, and thanks also to the sponsors, including Axon Ops. Check it out when you have a second. They have some really nice tools for managing clusters that are really elegant.
Fantastic. And Jeremy, thanks for moderating with me here today. It's good to see you this morning.
Yeah, yep, and thanks everyone. And I guess this concludes the first session of this World Party. Thank you for being patient, everyone, with all of the trying to make things work and seeing how we're all kind of part of this experimental slide advancing and everything. So really appreciate everybody and all of the work that they put into all of this.
All right, well, we'll see you guys at the next session if you can make it. And thanks again.